Hey guys, this is Hetu and welcome back to etlqalabs. So in this video, we will take a question that is around SCD. So Rizwan says that he has been asked this question in interview, and so it's important that we try to understand what exactly interviewer want to understand here, right? So when he asks about SCD in the project, which means that he want to understand the real and basically want to understand whether you have really worked on a project or not. So guys, whatever interviewer is asking, he may not aware. Most of the time he is not aware, right? What project and what SCD and all you are talking about, right? So but you have to give the example which is basically having these concepts, right? Implementing these concepts, right? So what we have to do is we have to try to explain a bit about the SCD and then you have to give the example around it, right? So I mean there will be different projects, right? And in the different sectors that you are working, right? So there could be different answers, okay? But then most important thing is the concept should be same, right? And that is how you have to attempt it. So you all have to try to figure out in your project uh, which are your slowly changing dimensions and what kind of implementation are there in your project, right? The data warehousing projects or the migration project, whatever it may be, right? So guys, what we have to do is basically let me try to give you some understanding around this, guys. Okay. So as we know that we have three mostly the most important one are the three different types of SCD, right? SCD, slowly changing dimensions, right? So we have got mostly three types. There are many other, but yeah, we primarily there are three. So we have type 1, okay? Type 1, then you have type 2 and type 3, okay? We'll see what all this. I think I have already covered in one of the separate video, but let me try to cover a bit. Type 1 is basically overriding, okay? Override. Basically, whatever data is there previously, that simply will be overwritten. Yeah, so this is what the type 1 concept in SCD. Type 2 is basically the full history. Okay, full history. I will take the example as well and I'll try to help you. And type 3 is partial history, guys. Okay, partial history preservation, preservation, full history preservation, you can say here. All right. So guys, I can just help you understand one example. Yeah, that is very basic one. Okay, that probably fitting best here, right? So there are many other, as I said, but I will give you something that everyone can correlate. Yeah. So now let's say, guys, let's say there is data warehousing where actually we are loading the customer data, right? So customer data, customer related information is being sourced from multiple source systems and it's being loaded, right? So the customer information is something that which is dimension related information, isn't it? For the sales, the customer is a dimension basically, right? Customer information. And what all the information that customer table could have. So the customer dimension table, let's say this is dimension table, guys, right? Dimension table, and this could have the customer ID. Okay, so this is typical. I would say the you know sales data warehouse, right? That's where we are storing all the sales, right? So the customer information, customer ID, customer name, okay, and customer name and customer customer address and customer okay, customer maybe all right, maybe phone number, right? Phone number. Yeah. Okay, I don't want to keep so many things. And then guys, I want one more additional column that will basically since I am going to do one thing, I'm going to see that. So this is the information that I want. Yeah, this is the information that I want. Now, when I need to implement type 1 here, where can I implement the type 1 information? Okay. So guys, see, if I need to, mm, one second. Okay, guys. So there is a phone number, right? So what will happen is, let's say I will just take one example, customer number 101. Maybe I should put Rakesh Sharma. All right. Okay. Then address. I would say customer city. I would say I don't want to put whole address. Then I'll say Delhi, New Delhi. Yeah. So this is New Delhi. One second, guys. Okay, New Delhi. And then customer phone is something that let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Yeah. All right. 10 digit. Make sure it's 10 digit. Okay. So this is something whatever is there. The first record, right? Now what will happen? All of a sudden, so guys, this is something. Let's say this is the existing record. Now all of a sudden, what we realized is that uh, the customer name is it's wrong basically. What is wrong? Because it is double A. Instead of that, it should be double A basically. Yeah. So we realize that his name is wrongly, wrong information. Then what will happen is, basically we will the source will send the new data, all right, as part of the data correction. Okay. What will happen is now, okay. So this is the existing data. Now in my dimension there are two more. Okay. So start date and end date. Okay. They're the two newly introduced column that we want to keep as part of our data warehousing solution, right? And then I will say here active flag. Okay, active flag. I just want to keep it just to make sure which one is the current record, right? Let's say this I got it before. Okay, now I feel that this is the wrong one. Okay, what will I do now? One second, guys. Okay, I just want to. Okay, here. Okay, so when the first time okay, initial. Okay, now let it be. So first time when the record is loaded, what will be the start date? Start date will be, let's say it was loaded yesterday, so 25th 01 and 2022. Okay, and now this will be obviously blank until we get the new the other similar update. Okay, and this will be OI. Okay, this is what the information as of now. Now all of a sudden, we realize that we have that this customer name is wrong, guys, right? So what it will happen? We will get the new fresh data from the source system. When it will be loaded, what will happen is basically this will be corrected. So in the source, I'm getting RAA. Okay, so this is the correct one. Now everything is going to be same. Only thing this is going to be replaced. Okay. Now what will happen, guys? You tell me. Now, do I need to? So what will happen here? Here, this particular record will be closed, right? Okay. Now you tell me whether do we need to close this record? Do we need to keep this record also or not? First of all, you tell me. No, right? Because this is the wrong data. We don't want to keep it. It doesn't make any sense to us, right? We don't even want this data, right? So in this case, I would like to do the type 1 implementation. Type 1 implementation is used for data correction. If there is any error in any dimension, then we actually send it as part of data correction. And so what will happen is simply what will happen, this will be removed. Okay, now let's say this new one record, this simply will be updated. Basically I would say customer name will be updated and nothing else, guys. Okay, everything is going to be same. Okay, There is no issue. So as part of data correction, basically we just want to keep this. Yeah. So in this case, we may not need, start date and end date as well. Okay. Why do we not need? Because we are just doing the data correction. It doesn't matter, guys. Okay. So we don't really want to keep this, but okay, it's okay if you are keeping it, no problem. Now, this is something, one of the example, right? So when we want to use the data correction, we are actually, we can, so you can give this kind of example, right? So it makes sense, right? Because we are actually implementing type 1 here in this case when we want to keep the information about the customer, correct information, right? Now type 2, where can we, so let's say this information is already there, okay? Let's say everything is correct. This is the very fresh record that we have got yesterday. Now, what we got to know that, the, mm, okay, one second. Oh, what can I say for type 2? Let's say, guys, there is one, that's fine, okay. What we can do is, let's say, this customer is there in Delhi, and in the fresh record that we are getting today, right? As per that, the has customer location has been changed. So it has become the customer has changed his location, means his city is changed to Bangalore actually. Okay, everything else is same, right? In that case, what we are going to do is basically we are going to close this particular record. Okay, so we have to close this record with. So guys, let's say we started. We are going to close it by yesterday, and now today we are going to open this new record because this is the new one, right? And this will be end date still will be null. There is no valid date until so it is the new one, right? And now this flag will be y n, guys, right? Because this is the old, and active flag will be y for the new record, right? So then in this case, if I need to know what is the exactly correct, the current address, then current record for this particular customer, then I can check it here. All of a sudden, what will happen is, let's say after, okay, I want to keep it somewhere here, guys. Let's say I want to put it 12 maybe. All right, I'll say 21, and then this is maybe 20. All right. All right. Something like this is there already. Now, if I'm getting one more change, one more, so the let's say the address is changed, only address I'm changing, guys. I'm not changing any other attribute here, right? So let's say address is changed to uh, Pune. All right, Pune. What will happen here? Now this will be starting today, and here we have to close it for yesterday. Okay. All right, guys, and this will be not active anyway, so this will be n, this will be y anyways. Okay. All right, now hope you are able to understand the things here, right? So what we are doing is basically when we are getting a new record, we are actually keeping as part of active flag, and then a start date and end date we are also maintaining. End date is always going to be null for the current record or the active record. Remaining everything, all the history we are preserving here. Why we are preserving? Because we might need this history to track or to check something about the customer basically, right? The old orders or something. If we want to do certain analysis and all, then we might need to use this particular information, right? But in the case of the data correction here, like name and all, we really don't need it because we really that's wrong data, right? But this all is right data, correct data. Only thing is this is the historical data basically, right? So that is the reason we need to have this kind of things, and this is something called type 2, because we are actually keeping all the historical data. It might be 10, 20, 30, how many times it is changing. We are actually keeping. So I'm just talking about one attribute, guys. Okay, it doesn't mean that we have only one attribute. There may be multiple attributes, and you might have to track all of those attributes as well. Okay, and you have to create a separate record here. So this is how type 2 is being handled. Okay, now in the same record, in the same basically example, you can say that what is the partial history preservation, that is type 3, guys. So type 3 is basically we type 3 in this case, let's say this is the new one, all right, this is the latest one. This is something that let's say it is started 23, all right, started 23. Now what will happen is in type 3, what normally we do is basically whatever attribute we are actually changing, right? So here we are actually not, we don't need to keep the start date and end date. Okay, we can keep the start date and end date. No, I guess. So guys, in the same example, let's say I don't want to keep start date, end date. Okay. Neither I want to. Okay, let me remove everything. Okay. I'll tell you the type 3, how we can implement type 3 here. So what I can do instead of that, I can just keep it effective date. Okay. Effective date, I just want to keep one extra column. Okay. This everything is coming from source except effective date. Yeah. So this is something that to manage the type 3, I am just keeping this effective date column extra in my dimension table. Okay. So let's say what is happening is, let's say this customer, it was New Delhi, let's say Delhi before, right? Now what will happen, the customer city is changed to Bangalore. Okay. So I got a new record, but I am not going to create one more record here. Okay, like type 2. Rather, what I would like to say is I would like to add one more column here. Rather than adding a row, I would like to add a column here in type 3. Okay, so customer city, I'll say this is new customer city. Okay, and this is old customer city, I would say. Okay, old customer city, and new customer city is Bangalore. Okay, all right. Now effective date. What is effective date, guys? Effective date is today's date, right? Because today we got the new record. Okay, and 2022. So this is how, and then if we are getting again one more record, let's say customer is changed to Pune. In that case, what will happen? What will be the old one, guys? This one will be removed basically, right? So what will be the just previous one? Because in type 3 we are actually keeping only two history, right? So previous and current. Okay. So what is, if I am getting today the customer city is changed to Pune, then what is the previous one? This is going to be Bangalore, right? The New Delhi is already removed because this is the previous to previous. So I'll say Bangalore here, and new one will be Pune. Okay, this will be Pune. Okay, now effective date, guys. Let's say today is 26. Yeah? So I'll say 26th. Yeah, because today maybe, so whatever date it is, right, whenever it is changing, we have to put this particular date here, right? So hope, so what we are doing is basically we are actually changing, we are just preserving one history. More than one history, we are not doing it, right? That's why it is called partial history preservation type 3. So this is something that, customer related dimension information in the sales table, you can sales data warehouse, right? So you can always give this kind of example. Not limited to this, guys. You can always find out what is, best in your data warehousing framework, and then try to figure it out, because when you actually explain it to interviewer, it should come, it should come fluently, right? It should, you should not take too much of time and think about it, right? So that's why it is very important that you already prepare all this kind of questions, and this is something I just given you so that you can figure out within your projects, right, what kind of example that you should keep handy, right? And yeah, that's all, guys, I think. So you can just give three type of SCD. No need to say that you have got type 6 and so many other type 4 and all, right? No need to tell. These are the most basic one, and most of the time we are using these two basically. I'll tell. Okay, overwriting just for correcting any data, and then type 2 is for historical preservation of the data, right? So these are the two most of the time we are using. Type 3 is rarely used, okay? And then type 6 and all those are very very rare, right? So that's all guys for this video, and hope you get the understanding around slowly changing dimensions in data warehousing, right? And hope you will be able to answer if you encounter this kind of questions in future, right? That's all for this video, and I'll see you soon with the next video. Until then, happy learning. God bless you. Bye.